Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for the greatest podcast ever. This is the Dirt and Asphalt Podcast. We are live. We are ready. We are going to have a great show for you here tonight. We are going to have the one and only Tim Shaffer on, and we're really excited to have Tim join us tonight. Let's go ahead and give him a call.
Hello.
Hey, Tim, this is Safe from the Dirt and Asphalt Podcast. How are you?
Good.
Good. Hey, man, we're really excited to have you tonight, and let's get into it. So first off, Tim, we know you're a seasoned veteran. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from?
I'm from Pittsburgh area, Pennsylvania, the city of Aliquippa.
Okay. And Tim, growing up, what was your racing background like before you got into the winged 410 sprint cars? What did you do before that?
Yeah, I raced go-karts from, I was 9 years old to about 15. Did some motocross and three-wheelers. Got into sprint car when I was 16.
Okay. And when you first started racing, were you when you first transitioned into sprint cars, were you in a 410 right out the bat, or what was that like?
Yeah, that's all I had back then.
Oh, really?
My age a little bit, but yeah.
So what was that like? Where was your first race at then?
Sharon Speedway.
And what was that? What was that feeling like going from, just a go-kart into, a winged 410 sprint car?
I was pretty crazy. I'd never even started a car until we were at the track. And, just starting it up was pretty amazing. That you touched the gas pedal and it wanted to go.
Yeah, that'd be mad. So, Tim, obviously we know a lot's been happening lately. You left the Raymond Rudix Racing 49 car. We've seen you in the G1 of Ron Gorby's car, and we've also seen you in the 14 of Tony Stewart's car. So there's a lot of fans, and we've been wondering what's the future right now for Tim Shaffer.
Yeah, the Ruzzickville, they actually called me and quit on me. I didn't, that's how that went down. But future plans, not sure. I was just trying to find something pretty concrete where, I can run about 80 races a year and make a living. And it's getting harder and harder to find them. Them teams out there, a lot of them are taken up. This time of the year, everybody's basically got their rides pretty much settled. So, just still looking, ideally, me and Cody like to go together somewhere. We work very well together, so it's a big head start. And that's what we're doing. We're just on the phone and talking and seeing what we can land, where we can land.
Sure. Tim, going back, looking at your history, we know a couple of years ago you won the Mansfield, the World Sprint Car Cup. What was that like, winning that $100,000 at Mansfield?
Anytime you win a race like that, it's really awesome. And what was special with that race, it was in April. It was beginning of the year. Usually all your big money paying races are toward the end of the year. So, for the team, that was outstanding. And the bang went off that early, and then we had a good year on top of that. We got about 12, 13 wins that year. And that, obviously that race being the big one for us, but this makes your season go a lot easier.
Oh, I'm sure it does. And going back in history further than that, even you've run with the Outlaws for years, being in Ohio area. I know we got to talk a little bit at Eldora this year about how the track has changed. What are some of the biggest changes you're seeing when you go to some of these tracks like Eldora that have been trying to please the NASCAR side, maybe some of the other races like that? How much different is it from when you've raced there in the past to where it is now?
Basically, they got everything scheduled. They try to make a schedule on timing of every event that night, which is very hard to do in dirt track racing. But, the upgrades of safeties come a long ways. There's fences and cement walls. And, they're really working hard on getting it safer for the racers and the fans.
What are some of the biggest safety things you've seen over the years that have progressed over the years you've been in it? What are some of the biggest things you've seen change for the betterment of the drivers?
Obviously, the head and neck device, the safety device there. Um, they're getting a car safer with the different constructions of the cage. Um, they're tethering up the axles and stuff so they stay with the car. But the biggest thing, too, lately was the safety of the track. There was a lot of guys wrecking, probably in the past, too, but we didn't know about as much because we got social media, and, with the phones and Facebook and all that, Twitter. You hear about it more. But we had a lot of roll cages caving in, in the last 4 or 5 years. I think it's got more out there in the public eye. They have made some changes, the extra gussets in our cages. That's definitely going to be a big help.
Yeah, that's great. And talking to some other seasoned veterans, I mean, they've all said the same thing, which is awesome, and we love to see the sport changing for the better, for the sake of the drivers and the fans and obviously the tracks as well, to get the drivers back. And talking of that, Eldora paid $175,000 to win this year. Knoxville was $150,000, but looking at the car counts between, they're different. There was a lot more cars at Knoxville, and then Knoxville just announced that they're going to pay $1,000 a lap to be leading, so the total payout could be $200,000. Why do you always think that Knoxville is such more prestigious than the King's Royal or some of these other events that are also very high paying compared to Knoxville?
Knoxville, they've been doing it for a long time. One of the first with the money, but it's very entertaining there. It's family oriented. People have a good time going there, and it's wild that it's right in town. Too many places like that where, everything's there. You ain't gotta go far, and it's got a name for itself. Cappy's built a name for that place a long time ago. Errol was Eldora. That Errol and Cappy with Knoxville, them two seemed like they went back and forth there for a while. Them two guys is why the money is up high as it is today. They're the ones that, you had the King Royal $50,000, and then $100,000, and then Knoxville went up to $100,000. They went back and forth, and that's what you need. And Mansfield coming on and doing their $100,000 to win. I think Williams Grove's paying more now. There's a lot of places that are definitely up the ante.
Yeah. So looking at the different tracks that you run at, you said you run 78 or so races. What's your favorite size of track? Are you a short track kind of guy, or are you more in the half-mile side?
It depends how good my engines are.
Sure.
But, honestly, the 3/8 mile track seems the most ideal track for best racing. You get on your big half miles and stuff, and the leaders just get away, and dirty air is more critical when you come to the bigger super speedways. Like your 3/8 mile, it just seems like it always puts a better race on, and it's less track for the track people to take care of and get it better too. So when you get these big tracks, it takes a lot of water and time to get it nice. So I just think your 3/8 miles are ideal.
Yeah, definitely. And looking at how we can grow the sport of sprint car racing bigger, NASCAR was always kind of big, and it seems like there are less people kind of watching and attending NASCAR, and dirt track is starting to come back up. How can we help get sprint car racing? It used to be on TV, on TNT. How can we get that back to that level again from a driver standpoint?
Well, I think we just need more entertainment at the track. Just per se like Knoxville, it's just it's fun. People can go there and have fun, and they can stay there for a week. I'm not sure. We're gonna get our younger kids involved again too. There's too much computer and stuff for them to get their interest in other things. and it's harder to get the youth there at the track. So I don't know what the answers are. I mean, it's definitely gotta be able to do something.
Sure. And looking back, who are some of your favorite drivers that you get to race against, and who are some of the drivers where it's like, man, I just wish he wouldn't show up this weekend?
Yeah, we won't go there.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Um, Areas that you like to race the best? Do you more like to stay in your home state, or are there some areas that you really like to go to because of the tracks and maybe the promoters or things like that? Is there a certain area that's your favorite to go and race at?
Uh, Racing for a living, I go coast to coast all the time. But California, that West Coast, year with the Outlaws, many years, it's good. People really into it. The Ohio people are really strong, and then Central PA, them are probably the three hotbeds, areas where it's fun to go. Everybody's into it, and they all know what's going on, and they've been around doing it for a long time. So it just makes it, I don't know, more fun.
Sure, sure, definitely. And so now looking at your future, we heard a rumor that you had ran a late model. Did that happen or?
Started without me.
Oh yeah, I have a late model. I have a great late model.
Okay.
And I ran a super late at Eldor a few years ago back at the Dream. I actually qualified very well and didn't race so well, but actually made some good laps, and it was a good time. It's interesting. I do it with my late model because it's totally different, and it's fun for me, learning new things.
So do you like the late model then? Are we going to see in that maybe a little more now that you're still looking for a ride? Is that something fans can look forward to seeing you in more? Is that late model then?
Oh, I wish. I'm just tight with money now. Gotta get through the winter, and the bills are still coming. So,
right.
If it wasn't for that, I need tires for it really, and I would probably go and play with it some more. But I'm bouncing around with different cars now too to try to keep making a living, and it makes it very hard when it's strange cars, strange people, and to be successful. We've been fortunate enough. Me and Cody's went together, my crew chief, on this 1G car, and we've ran second, 12th, win, and a 6. So.
Is that maybe something we can see you stay in, or is that not?
Ronnie does it more for fun. He can't do it all the time. He likes, it's more or less it's going to play for him. He can race once or twice, a week or every other week or something. My situation, I need something that's, we got to do some traveling, and I got to race. And so, this year I had 103 scheduled. Usually we do about 70 or 80. But, more you race, the more you make. But you got to have a team that's, up to par to do that. If you've got 4 engines and, 5 cars, you can do a 100 night schedule. But, then if you got 1 or 2 cars and just 2 engines, then you're limited to, maybe 40, 50 nights. It depends on how much equipment you got. I'll go to Truck and Trailer, you got it, where you can make your schedule up.
Yeah, definitely. So what was it like running we know you ran a few races for Tony Stewart. What was that like going into that equipment, changing up from, where the teams you've been with before? What was that like for you?
For me, it was pretty cool. I know Jimmy Carr. He's been with Tony for years and years. I've met him back in 01 or something, 2000. And then Ricky Warner was there working on the Ford engine, and I've known him for 15, 20 years. It was just neat. It was just, it was fun for me because I knew them and I felt comfortable.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Tim, we don't want to take up too much more of your time here. We appreciate you. We're really hoping and pulling that you're going to be able to find a ride that you'll be able to stick with for a long time. We hope to hear more of you in that late model of yours as well. And we just want to wish you the best for the rest of this season and the seasons forward.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, and appreciate it a bunch.
Hey, no problem, Tim. You have yourself a good evening.
All right, you too, buddy.
Thank you. Bye.
What's up, Safe?
Well, what's up, Alex?
Started without me.
I know.
Totally ruined it.
I'm sorry. Well, folks, that was Tim Shaffer.
Yeah, it was.
It sounds like he's struggling right now. We're hoping to see a recovery there for his sake, because Tim's a very.
In what way is he struggling? I guess I didn't even hear the whole interview.
Well, he doesn't have a ride.
Wasn't he just in the G1 car this weekend?
He was, but that's only part time. He needs some. I mean,
Is he looking for a ride?
he's looking for a full time
For a
ride.
full-time sprint car ride?
Full time sprint car ride. That's what he
Because
does.
you got to catch me up, too, because even I'm bumping.
I'm sorry.
No, you're
Okay, so right after Nationals, the Denman,
Yeah, the 49 car. We just call it the 49 car.
the 49 car
Yeah.
called him the next day after Knoxville and said, "We're no longer a team." And
Yeah.
and he's
Welcome
like,
to
"So."
sprint car racing.
They said, "We're no longer a team. Too bad, so sad. Good luck." And this is how Tim has made a living for a very long time, is
Yeah, we know that.
being a sprint car racer. And he's a very good sprint car racer. I mean,
Yeah.
he's won the Nationals. He won the Mansfield race for $100,000.
Oh, yeah, Tim's had a pretty good career.
He's had a really good career.
He'll
He's
be-
won some races. I mean, he's usually a top 5 car.
He'll be in the Hall of Fame one day.
He will be, and so it's really hard, and it's really sad to see a great driver like himself that's struggling to find a ride. But if you didn't see the whole interview, go back and watch it. He said that this is so late in the season to try to find a ride because most everyone has one. There's not really a lot of races left.
Nah, you got to start looking for next year. That's what he's
So-
probably thinking.
So he's trying to find something for next year. He said it's really bad timing, which
yeah.
it never is
Never
good timing.
no.
So he's just really battling right now. We've seen him in the Ron Gorby car, the G1. He said that's only a part-time deal. Ron doesn't want to go on the road full-time. He can't afford to. He ran in Tony Stewart's car for some races, and that was just kind of like they were just trying to help me out, get me a couple more weeks in a car till maybe I could find something. Obviously, still hasn't found anything. So he does own a late model. He does race that. It's a crate late model.
Oh, no, that's boring.
Well,
No, we don't like those. We don't like crate late models.
anyway,
I
so so he's just trying to, lay him back on his feet. And we wish him, the best of luck. We hope he finds something because
Oh, he'll find something.
He will.
Something will pop up.
I really hope so.
I don't know about a full-time ride, but I don't know. It's getting tough anymore. A lot of young
Yeah.
kids in sprint car racing
I
taking
mean,
all the good
Christopher
rides.
Bell just bought his own car. He's
He did.
doing his own
He
thing
won,
now.
too. First
He
night
did.
out.
And
Jim Ford Classic.
So we're gonna end this segment real quick.
We'll
This
be
was
back
our
in
interview
like
with Tim
5
Shaffer.
minutes
It was 5 minutes
with
to
regular scheduled programming.
exactly.
See how I handled that?
Boom. There you go.